Well, hello, folks, and welcome to the Dieter Melhorn Fishing Podcast. I hope you're having a good day, whatever day it is that you happen to be listening to the show. Today, we're going to talk about some new developments, some indictments that were handed down in the fatal boat crash on Smith Lake that happened earlier this year. Now, I'm dropping this video on a Sunday morning, which is normally when I put up some type of fishing content that is related to fishing. And I decided to change it today because I'm going to talk about some things that kind of hit me yesterday on a guide trip. As many of y'all know, I'm a charter captain here outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was out on the water fishing, and after this happened Friday. This past Friday is when this grand jury indictment was handed down against Flint Davis, the 22-year-old professional bass angler who hit and killed some guys that were in another boat. We'll go into some details behind that story just to set it up. Not everybody's heard about this, but I was sharing with the people on the boat yesterday. I was very, after seeing the video of this crash, there's video that's been released. I'm going to show you that in a second. My head was on a swivel yesterday is what it comes down to. We got bass boats coming by us all the time, but yesterday I was looking at every one of them. After watching this video, this horrific video of this crash that shows in great detail what happened. Every boat that was coming down the lake, I was watching to see if they were paying attention. As in many of y'all know, these bass boats run up and down the lake 60, 70, 80 miles an hour sometimes. And to be honest, they don't really bother me as far as wake or anything else, because they really, when they're up on plane, they're really not bothersome to navigation or anything else. They're much better than a wake boat. But man, after seeing this crash and this angler who is a professional angler, you would expect better boat operation out of. Just totally run straight for an entire mile with no change in course. This was from some of the data that they pulled from his GPS. They also pulled some information that showed he was doing 67 miles an hour at the point of impact, and you'll see this in a second. My head was on a swivel yesterday, so it kind of inspired me to do this video and drop it this morning. We'll go back to regular fishing content here this week. But what happened in this crash, just so y'all know, I was out on a guide trip that morning. I remember it clear as a bell. I got a text message from somebody on Lake Norman, a different lake. This is what's being forgotten in all this. There was another crash that morning in a professional bass tournament. A guy contacted me from a tournament up on Lake Norman, said, hey, there's been a boat crash up here. One of the bass guys ran into somebody. I believe it was a pontoon boat. No fatalities, nothing as horrific as what happened in this tournament. I hit up my buddy Steve down at Get Your Fish On. He has a YouTube channel and a podcast talking about just stuff in the fishing world. I said, hey, you may want to look into this. And he drops a lot of stuff that is very timely. He is the breaking news of the bass fishing world. And my other buddy over at Cerebral Tackle, he is the Dateline version of what's going on in the fishing world. And I've got some clips from his channel. Both of these guys, Get Your Fish On and Cerebral Tackle on YouTube, you need to follow and subscribe to, simply because they give some good, timely information on what's going on in the fishing world. Not just bass fishing. A lot of it is bass fishing centric, but good information. And Cerebral Tackle went into a deep dive on getting some investigative work done on exactly what went on in this tournament. But I hit him up, and then he texted me back a little while later and said, hey, there's a bigger crash going on. Maybe some people killed in another tournament, in this MLF tournament. So this happened. It ends up 3 guys end up getting killed on a striper boat. What happened was Davis was coming down the lake and runs into this striper boat. I'm going to show you that video in just a second. I believe there were 5 people on the boat. 3 of them killed. 2 of them were knocked into the water and drowned. 1 of them was killed on impact with Davis's boat when it hits him. The other 2 were treated at a local hospital but survived. They handed down an indictment, and it's pretty serious stuff. This is not just something, some misdemeanor charges. There's 3 felony charges of manslaughter. for the guys that were killed, and 2 Class B felony assault charges for the guys that lived, along with some other charges for not having a proper boating license, which you have to have there, and some other things with the rules of the road navigation type stuff, basically failing to turn to miss the boat. By all indications, they believe that it was just, not paying attention to what's going on. That is what they believe happened. He was just not looking where he was going. Some believe he may have been looking at another angler catching a fish, possibly the boat that this video was shot from, and that may have led to the crash. That is what the investigators believe was the main cause. Nothing had to do with the weather, as was originally reported early on. Weather may have played a part as far as fog. You'll see in the video, clear as a bell, nothing there. No real boat traffic, nothing to do with the blast off. The one thing that one of the investigators said, and I disagree with 100%, is that speed did not, he says excessive speed did not play a factor. I totally disagree with that because I think speed played a factor in not allowing enough time to make a decision to move. So, as I said, and I got into the guys in the bass world are big apologists that speed had nothing to do with him. Well, had he been going 5 miles an hour, you wouldn't have 3 people dead. There would have been a collision, possibly, but even a collision at that speed, you're not going to kill 3 people, especially from impact. So, my point is, speed does play a role here. Speed increases closing distance exponentially and reduces your ability to make a decision on what to do. It also, had he been going slower, would have possibly given him more time to look over and go, oh, there's a guy catching a fish, turn around and look back and see the boat and take corrective action. It also might have given the people on the boat, the striper boat, time to take corrective action to avoid the collision. So, speed plays a part. I don't care what anybody says in this. It magnified the situation, and slowing down will save lives, period. But you're going to get a lot of pushback from anybody in the bass world because they like going fast. They paid a lot of money to get boats that'll do 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, and they want to use them. That's an argument for a different day. If you don't believe speed plays a factor, let's take a look at this video and let me know your thoughts down in the comments. There you go. Give me your comments. Let me know what you think about that. The bottom line is this young man I feel for him. 22 years old, young guy. Probably hasn't been running a boat on his own that long. And, you're in that world of being competitive, trying to be the man, trying to beat the man next to you. Everybody else is running down the lake doing 70 miles an hour. You want to be one of them. And it was probably a lack of experience and a lack of judgment, in my opinion, that exacerbated what happened here. And it's sad. It's sad for him. He's just was beginning his bass fishing career, and I think he was doing some guiding there in that area for smallmouth. I believe I'd heard that from somebody. So this will be a very expensive journey he's going on between the lawsuits that have already been filed against him, Major League Fishing, a lot of people here millions of dollars. He probably doesn't have. It'll be judgments handed down that will ride him the rest of his life. And not to mention, most likely, he's probably going to do prison time with 3 felonies, 2 Class B felonies. It's going to be hard to avoid the prison time, especially with 3 people killed in this situation. So tragic for him. I feel for him. I've got kids that have been through that age range, one coming into it, and you don't always make the smartest decisions at that age. That's why they don't rent cars to people under 25. They know that that's not a good age. So I feel for them. It's a costly mistake. And I really feel for the people that were just out there fishing, trying to catch some stripers that day and were hit. And I know it's anger on both sides, and I feel for both of them. And it's a good lesson to all of us that are out there operating. 1, keep your eyes peeled. 2, slow down. Look at where you're going. Pay attention to what you're doing. If you're going to run 60, 70, 80 miles an hour, you need to be looking in front of you, not watching what somebody else is doing. And 2, if you're just out there running a boat down the lake at a slower speed, keep your eyes peeled. Keep an eye out for what's going on and understand the rules of the road. With a boater safety course that he was charged for not taking help, maybe not. It may have instilled a little more into your head as far as just, making the right decision. So, sad, tragic situation, but hopefully we can learn from it and take something away from it. Appreciate y'all checking it out. We'll catch you out on the water.